Hello, my name is Brian. I'm here to tell you the tragic story of the Bordens. It was around 9 a.m. when Mrs. Borden was last seen alive by her stepdaughter, the infamous Lizzie Borden, and their maid, Bridget. At the time when Mrs. Borden was murdered, Lizzie's sister Emma was out of town. Mrs. Borden was out in Fall Rivers, as was Uncle John. As for Lizzie herself, she said she was downstairs ironing handkerchiefs. Miss Borden was killed in a room that Uncle John just had slept at the night before. Now this very same room now has the most requested for overnight stays at the historic Lizzie Borden Axe Murder House and Museum, called the John Morris Room, probably better known as the Murder Room. There were no signs of a struggle or any defensive wounds. Peculiar, isn't it? There was no indication of she was facing her attacker and trying to fight back, or couldn't. Or there's no way of knowing if she was standing up or even kneeling down. But we do know one thing is the wounds were left behind for us to see. One blow struck her right on the left hand side of her head, right above her ear. Another blow struck her right in between the shoulder blades, going 4 inches deep. Now the remaining 17 blows struck her in the back of her head and neck for a total of 19 blows. She was eventually found face down in her own coagulated blood. Now with the blood and stomach content of both victims, we can conclude that her time of death was roughly around 9:30 a.m., a whole hour and a half prior to Mr. Borden's death. Now, in the photo on the wall where the autopsy was done, you can actually see her laying flat down on her stomach, surrounded by a puddle of her own blood. And that very same wall, there's a mirror where you can see the reflection of the actual camera taken of the crime scene. Now, do you know these very same crime scene photos were the very first photos taken in the United States? How's that for a morbid fun fact? Thanks for tuning in, guys.